Which actor or celebrity is smarter than we usually give him/her credit for? Leslie Nielsen of Naked Gun fame mowed through Celebrity Jeopardy, questions like nothing. Sharp guy. Jim Varney, known for playing a goofy guy named Ernest Havern, was a genius. Extremely intelligent, even though he played a character that lacked common sense and generally dumb. Enjoyed spending his free time working on pocket watches and working with the small machinal parts inside to see how they work. Hell of a guy off camera. His best friend was Billy Bob Thornton. While Ace Sean Visney from The Princess Bride is a Harvard graduate with a degree in history. He also studied Latin, philosophy, economics, and politics at Oxford, and was also a Fulbright scholar. So, while Cary Elwes is no dumb wit, he probably would not have triumphed in a genuine battle of wits with Sean. The actor who played the really dumb kid on Modern Family graduated from high school when he was 13. Ina Garten. She's known for her cooking and over-the-top Hamptons lifestyle, but she was a budgets analyst under Presidents Ford and Carter. I'm sure most of Reddit knows this by now, but Dolly Parton. When asked his dumb blonde jokes offended her, she replied, "No, I know I'm not dumb. I also know I'm not blonde." Gotta love Dolly. This is my favorite quote from her. I make jokes about it, but it's the truth. That I kind of patterned my look after the town tramp. I didn't know what she was, just this woman who was blonde and piled her hair up, wore high heels and tight skirts, and, boy, she was the prettiest thing I'd ever seen. Mommy used to say, or, she's just trash, and I thought, that's what I want to be when I grow up. Trash. Shakira can speak 5 languages fluently: Spanish, English, Portuguese, Italian, and Arabic, and also translates all of her music herself. Michael Herbertscher, most screwed from The Office. When I read his bio, I was amazed to see that most went to Harvard. Then there are his credits: The Office, Parks and Recreation, The Good Place, Brooklyn 929. A genius in comedy and writing. Rebel Wilson is a lawyer. Dolph Lundgren. Dude plays a big dumb bastard, but has a master's in chemical engineering, and I believe is part of Mensa. Lisa Kudrow. She plays a lot of dummies, but has a degree in biology from Vassar and worked as a medical researcher for a few years before getting into acting. Cindy Crawford, model icon who now hawks a furniture line. Graduated as class valedictorian from DeKalb High School and pursued a degree in chemical engineering at Northwestern University on an academic scholarship. Charlie Day is a really smart guy. He usually plays characters not too dissimilar from Charlie Kelly on Always Sunny. But he's a multi-instrumentalist, writer, producer, and just an all-around intelligent guy. Hedy Lamarr was a famous actress/sex symbol in the 1940s who also was a self-taught inventor, most famously figuring out a way to jam the frequency of German radio-controlled torpedoes during WW2. Rowan Atkinson, MS in electrical engineering, and was working on PhD before he decided to turn full into entertainment. He definitely had a backup plan for if show business failed. Brown, you're doing really good in these classes and are on track to be a stellar doctor, but I have to be honest, those faces you make when you make a mistake and your proclivity to getting into comically odd circumstances, I really think that's where your moneymaker is. Brown looks shocked at this as a beaker of chemicals explodes on a table behind him and covers him in a foam. Has anyone mentioned Bruce Dickinson, lead singer of Iron Maiden? Marketing director for an airline pilot and an entrepreneur. Actually, lots of hard rockers are quite educated and accomplished at things other than rock and roll. But Bruce is one of my faves. Ken Jeong is a medical doctor. Can you imagine being one of his patients? Brian May from Queen, born the 19th of July 1947, is an English musician, singer, songwriter, record producer, author, astrophysicist, and university administrator. Dexter Holland from The Offspring. Just a few years ago, he completed his PhD in molecular biology. I'm surprised I haven't seen Betty White in this list yet. According to interviews with her co-stars, she's actually very smart. Nothing at all like some of the characters she's played. Chris Pine. He got an English degree from Berkeley and it shows. He's extremely well spoken and eloquent in interviews. He and Zachary Quinto used to have a competition between themselves over who could implement more sad vocab into their interview answers. Nathan Fielder graduated from one of Canada's top business schools with really good grades. Mick Jagger got into the London School of Economics, a prestigious school. He later dropped out to do music, but people say over the decades, the Rolling Stones have handled their money better than most bands. Conan O'Brien. He plays a bit of a gullible everyman on TV, because it makes for an entertaining character. He's a great host, because he keeps the focus on humor, and conversing at the same level as his guests. He seems like somebody who would skip the crossword, but solve the jumble. But in actuality, he's a Harvard graduate. He just doesn't like bringing that up. Man's got an image to uphold. Terry Crews. The man is a diversification master, and can learn anything. Sorrel Book, better known as Boss Hogg on Dukes of Hazzard. Shakespearean actor, fluent in more than several languages. Bay from Columbia, Massachusetts from Yale. I can't remember why, but $HA usually comes up when this thread appears. I believe she got perfect SAT scores or something before dropping out to follow her music career. I host a podcast with Paris Hilton. I'm being serious, and she's actually remarkably intelligent. The voice is an act that she perfected to pretend to be dumb. Her voice is actually much deeper than Got the Simple Life, which was the world's first hit docu follow series, and now makes millions of dollars selling literally everything. She's a marketing genius. Weird Al. He is one of most talented popular musicians of the century and pretty much single-handedly created, or at least popularized to the mainstream, the entire subgenre of funny music. He graduated in 1975 and was valedictorian of his senior class. He attended California Polytechnic State University in San Luis Obispo, where he earned a bachelor's degree in architecture. Wikipedia. Danica McKellar. She's a math whiz, graduated summa cum laude, and has written books about math. Henry Rollins. Fronted Black Flag and his own band. Often thought of as a dumb angry guy who liked fighting. He is extremely well read, is a prolific writer, hosts his own radio show, is a spoken word comedian, podcaster, wrote a column for the LA Times, talented actor, and travels the world on a regular basis. He is a thoughtful speaker, polite to a fault, humble to self-deprecating levels, a spaz, and one of the biggest fanboys of rock and punk era music. I met him on one of his trips to a southern city I lived in. He is genuinely decent human being. Brendan Fraser. Didn't accept being sexually assaulted, and blew the whistle. I hope he's doing well. Loved pretty much everything I've seen him in. David Duchovny. Collegiate School for Boys in Manhattan, valedictorian. B in Literature from Princeton, Phi Beta Kappa, summa cum laude. MA in English Lit from Yale. Still hasn't finished his PhD from Yale. Singer and songwriter, 2 published albums, haven't listened to them, just came up in a search. Cindy Crawford has an IQ of 154 and studied chemical engineering in College Source. My mother is a Cindy Crawford superfan. Harry Hill, UK comedian, is a qualified GP. Ike Hero from Heroes is actually like a genius. Yes, Masioka. Doing work in digital effects at Industrial Light and Magic, I believe creating maths heavy software for effects. Also he translated all his Japanese lines he had to do for Heroes. Also funded / helped development of one of the best games of last year, Outer Wilds. Not the Fallout spiritual successor, the other one. Maybe more commonly known but Mayim Bialik. Played Amy Farrah Fowler on Big Bang Theory as a neuroscientist. She has a PhD in neuroscience in real life. Ashton Kutcher studied biome to help find a cure for his twin brother's heart condition. He dropped out after getting a modeling contract. He is a very smart businessman and entrepreneur. He is valued at a few $100 million. Jennifer Coolidge. She usually gets typecast as a busty bimbo, but she's actually pretty much the opposite. Brooke Shields suspended her career at 18 to go to Princeton. Got a bachelor's in romance languages from Rage Against the Machine. Tom Morello got a bachelor's in political science at Harvard and Zach De La Rocha got a PhD in anthropology. Can't believe nobody wrote Tom Scholz from Boston. He is a musician, songwriter, inventor, engineer, and philanthropist. Has a BS and manuscript from MIT in mechanical engineering. Worked at Polaroid as a product engineer and developed many audio production and guitar effects products. Natalie Portman. Harvard grad and has published in psychology,